Hey there. I know a lot of you watch my channel for tips on how to use Band in a Box, how to click this menu, that menu, you know, use this DAW, load this out, all technical stuff. But the reason why I named this channel Senior Musicians Unite goes far and above just how to click a mouse and load a program. My purpose is to inspire seniors to get out there and keep making great music. Okay, so you're over 60. Do you think it's too late to pursue your passion for music? It's not. Think again. In this inspiring video, join me as I put the computer mouse down and the equipment down and share my personal journey of overcoming enormous challenges as a senior musician, from navigating the ever-changing music industry to staying inspired and motivated. I'm going to take you guys through the highs and lows of my career with honesty and vulnerability. And I'll discuss the obstacles I've faced, no, that I'm facing still, and the strategies that I've used to overcome them, and the joy of making music at 60 years old and beyond. My name is Henry Clarke, and this is Senior Musicians Unite again. And I'm a senior musician who started making music for the streaming platforms once I retired in my 60s, because before that life got in the way like it does. We wife, kids, mortgage, paychecks, retirement, all that kind of stuff. So my personal dream of making music, it got put on hold, but the fire never went away. So I started in my 60s after a couple of retirements, and the results of my efforts are what I would consider to be noteworthy and worth sharing. Now, pursuing music as a passionate 60-year-old, it can be absolutely daunting. I'm here to tell you. But it's never too late to start something new. And doing music has brought me so much joy and fulfillment. And no, I'm not setting the world on fire. But I think that anyone would be pleased with the progress that I've made, which actually is pretty good. Now, I know that when we think about starting something new at our age, we let others' misconceptions and doubts hold us back. Society, they may tell us that we're, too old to be taking up a new hobby, and we need to sit in our easy chair and look at the game shows on television, you know. And I do that, right? But I don't do just that. I mean, and my life does not revolve around the Price is Right, or Let's Make a Deal or Wheel of Fortune. That's not it, right? And we might even doubt ourselves. And I had to ask myself, am I just being foolish or delusional to think that I could start something new at this stage in my life and give it a good go? Well, I got to tell you, that thinking, it was foolish and delusional. But interesting is that it really set in when I told my peers and my friends what I was going to do, because they're the ones that can create that feeling in all of us. They're the ones that go, yeah, yeah, right, or they roll their eyes, right, or they do the opposite. They'll say, "Oh man, that's great, man. Yeah, you got to go for it." But behind our backs, they say exactly the opposite. They tell their friends, "Man, you know what Henry's doing? My God, I can't believe he's doing something like that as old as he is." It's all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So don't buy into that. Really, don't buy into that, because what you do when you end up hearing that and believing that is you end up making excuses that are not based on reality. And then there's a misconception that we're not capable of learning new things as we age. You know what I mean? Hey, we can learn anything at our age as long as we keep our prescriptions filled. Because I got some prescriptions myself, and I know a lot of you guys over 60 got some prescriptions of some kind. But it just ain't true about us not being able to learn something. I mean, our brains are capable of adapting and changing, no matter how old we are or no matter how much hair we've lost. And with the right mindset and dedication, we can learn and we can grow in incredible ways. Yet, despite all the evidence of the contrary, a lot of us still let these doubts and these fears hold us back. And again, I think a lot of it comes from the fact that we tell our peers and we tell our friends what we want to do, and They don't get excited about it, or word gets back to us that they don't really support it, so we lose confidence. I know. I had some of those same feelings. I really did. But I overcame them. I recognized that they're just misconceptions and doubts. And I also learned, don't listen to the naysayers because they ain't doing anything anyway. I'm just being honest with a lot of you. You need to focus on the positive and remind yourself that you're capable of achieving goals no matter the age. And I personally can attest to not really getting the inspiration in house, you know. So I looked up stories of older musicians and I found a few who have successfully pursued music later in life. You know, there's the story of Sharon Jones, who broke through at 46, or Leonard Cohen at 50, or Susan Boyle. You know, I think she was on America's Got Talent, right? You know, but she was 47, something like that. Or Charles Bradley at 63. He went on to become a critically acclaimed soul singer. You know what those stories did for me? They served as inspirational examples of what's possible when we don't let age hold us back. And that's what I want you to know. So, how do you get started on this musical journey? First, you got to identify what type of music you want. I didn't do that. I just wanted to do music with no plan, right? Don't do what I did. Identify the type of music that you want to do, and you got to be honest with yourself, which I wasn't. I thought because of my age, I was supposed to do old soul or jazz. Well, I don't really care for jazz because I'm not an instrumentalist. So jazz was out. So I said, okay, because I'm a vocalist, I'll do old soul. But my heart just wasn't in it. That ship had sailed. I didn't have that same level of enthusiasm about it anymore. I loved indie pop. I know it's a young man's game, but I loved indie pop. And I loved new disco music. I just love that stuff, you know. And once I started concentrating on making that kind of music, my music catalog took off. It really did, you know. And I think because of the excitement of doing what I loved, it came through in the music. What about you? Are you interested in singing or playing an instrument? Or maybe even composing your own music? Hell, you might be interested in all three. You know? But that's the first thing, you know, is defining what you want to do. Second is try as best again to define the end goal. And that can change as you move throughout, but start out trying to have an end goal in mind. And what I mean by that is, what do you want from this whole effort? You know, is it to have your music heard worldwide on streaming platforms? Is it to play live on stage again? Or is it just the satisfaction that you can do this for enjoyment and fulfillment? And it's interesting, you know, that question was asked of me by a record executive who heard my music, and we communicated through email. And he asked me the same thing. He asked me, what did I want in the end goal, you know? And I told him that I just wanted my music covered, right? And he gave me a really nice, you know, nice note back saying, and that's very difficult today to get your music covered because most musicians want to do their own stuff. I thought it was great that he did that. I really did. You know, I didn't have anything problem with him because what I told him is he asked me was I interested in ever signing, and I said absolutely not because I am not touring anywhere. I ain't going nowhere. You know, which again I defined my end goal was no touring. I'm not going to do that. So my expectations have to be set based on the fact that I refuse to do that, and I have done that. So the point is that once you have an idea of what you want out of it from a goal perspective, then you can take small steps and start making that happen. You know, and from the technical side, look for tools that will help you in creating music. Find tutorials that show you how to use certain products and practice regularly. You can study strategies on how to get streams, how to produce yourself, the right equipment you need at minimal cost, stuff like that. And you might not be good at it at first, but you know, like anything else, if you practice, you're gonna get better. And the most important thing is that you're actually having fun and you're enjoying the process. Now, for me, one of the most powerful moments of growth came when I finally worked up the courage to create an album and release it on the streaming platforms. And it was terrifying at first. I was so afraid of everybody hating me or hating it. Right, I'm telling you, it really was. But it was also exhilarating because it helped me realize that I was capable of more than I ever thought possible. I mean, 10 songs, I was like, wow, I got 10 songs together, Now, to be candid, though, it totally bombed. If flatlined, it didn't just bomb, it was horrible. It totally flatlined, like I said, But not because it wasn't any good. It was because I was undereducated and I overlooked the fact that without an audience, nobody knew who I was, so nobody listened to me. And that was really, really depressing. That was a tough lesson. But I decided to keep at it and keep producing music and keep putting music out there. And since that time, which started around 2018 or 2019 or so, my music is doing quite well now. My listener base is significant. I'm close to 50,000 listeners a month on Spotify. I'm streaming around a little over a million a year right now. It was last year I did over a million. And across other platforms like Apple or Deezer or Amazon, I'm doing pretty good. And I've also had the opportunity to promote my release on one of the largest soul internet radio stations in the U.S. It's funny, it's a soul station, And my music is also being played on over 100 stations worldwide, or at least that's what Apple reports to me anyway, is that my songs are being played worldwide. So that's pretty cool, actually, And it's these moments that remind me of why I started pursuing music in the first place. It's for the joy and the fulfillment that it brings to my life. And as I look back on my journey so far, I'm reminded that the most important thing was not to give up, because it's so easy to get discouraged when faced with setbacks and challenges. Like my first single was bombing, and then the naysayers that I experienced, right? I was going to say that I experienced in my earlier days, but hell, I still get the naysayers now. I really do, But I didn't give you this information to brag. That's not what it was about. I gave you this information to inspire you to keep moving forward, because how we respond to the challenges is what really, really matters. We got to be kind to ourselves and recognize that growth is a learning process. And also, people are going to knock you. Some of the people are probably even going to knock this video, but I don't care, because it may help some of you. Especially, the thing about it is that a lot of times the people who do the knocking anyway, they're not doing anything, so they don't even matter. They just love to knock people. That's just part of their game. I hope to leave you all with the takeaway that it's never too late to follow your passion for music, whether you're 60, 70, 80, or whatever, and you can start pursuing your dreams today. You really can. Hey, don't forget to check out my other videos for more inspiring content, because that is the goal of Senior Musicians Unite. This is Henry Clarke, and I will see you guys later. Bye.